Okay, so we're going to briefly go over the concept of containers as they relate to being able to have a virtual environment that you can create to house your applications that maybe don't necessarily have that full stack right off the bat. So we're going to go ahead and use our IDE here. Whoop, there we go. And then we're going to do, oop, nope, not that one. Let's see, that's right. Oop. All right, and done. And so, you think of any kind of software, really it lives inside of some container. Think of like a virtual box. And there's two platforms that are really great for that. One of them is called Docker, and that's why you see a Docker file, kind of looks like a little whale. The other one's called Podman. So both great, both have their uses, but I personally like Podman because it uses what's called a daemonless architecture, which all that means, right, pause, is that it doesn't have full access, or rather that containers don't necessarily have that full access that you could have with Docker. So when you hear daemonless, you can think of, and that's D-A-E-M-O-N, you can think of it being something that is not going to necessarily go to the very root of your computer, which means that even if someone gets access to it, that they will not be able to just go completely buck wild. And so what we have here is with this, we call it a Docker file, which both Podman and Docker can run. We're setting up this environment for a Python image. And so do from Python, right, like a directory, and then it's going to actually copy this, and pretty simple here. Just do .py and something very simple. The first things you learn, printing hello world. I know, no points for originality. So what we're going to do though is we're going to run this, and we're going to use podman build the command line T, and let's give it a name of I don't know, pi image, and then period, enter. And so what we're going to be seeing here now is that Podman is going to actually make in real time that Python application, which is just one thing, right, one function, but it's going to house all that in now a secure container that we can then run. So Podman run, what do we call it again? Oh, no, that's right. Pi image. So we did a little test there earlier. So what does it do? It runs the application. And now, I know this seems very simple considering it's just one little iteration there of print hello world, but the thing is though, you can containerize entire applications, entire services, and really this is what we think of. We think of microservices. It's these applications that have been taken and put into these containers to then be deployed and sent out. So it starts with just one simple script, but it results in being able to put all of these different applications onto a registry that then gets sent out to deliver on these applications. And again, they're reliable because it's the same application over and over again. It solves that problem of, well, it works on my machine, while at the same time, again, having that, we call it either daemonless or rootless structure to Podman. Again, both viable, both can be used. And it's a little difficult to set everything up and run it like this, but the big takeaway is to consider containerization as a great way and really where things are going in terms of generative AI and being able to take these agents, these AI models that have these frameworks that are referred to as being agentic, that can then, meaning that they use tools. So it's not just chat, it's chat and go do something. Go search for vacation spots, or go book me a hotel or something. It's being able to manage using these little containers that can exist on the shelf, and then when someone calls onto it, boop, away it goes, deployed, and then when someone's done with it, it goes back on the shelf. So it's also more efficient, energy-wise, and just how many resources you're using. So hopefully this was helpful. Again, Podman is open source, and download with Linux, and for the ways you can run it both from the command line or from a desktop that has a graphical interface. Same thing with Podman. Again, Docker. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter which one you use. It matters more about what you use it for. But when we think about microservices, and well, we see things like Olama that have come out, that this is really that structure that's implemented by that service. So it's a very good tool to get smart on for those who are wondering, well, what should I be learning to, like, do I need to learn the code? Do I not need to learn the code? Well, I mean, it just depends on what you want to look for, but containers are a good ubiquitous way, a good ubiquitous skill to know on top of really any other skill set that you're developing. Right? Until next time.